Hey everyone, welcome back. I wanted to do a quick video to show you some of the functions in Connect. So if you haven't watched the video about the syllabus, be sure to take a look at that one first and then come back to this video. But once you have seen that, I do want you to get registered in Connect. So your first place to go to do that is going into your Western Online account. So you're going to go to your WIU account, you're going to log in using your ecom name and password, and then you should be down here in My Courses, and you should see the Accounting 201 listed as one of your courses. So you're going to click onto that. And as you can see, I don't have the announcement set up. But basically, this is just going to serve as notice about due dates on things. So there are some due dates coming up, but it will also take you directly to your Connect section. So if you haven't registered yet in Connect, oh, and then my information is down at the bottom. We're going to do that now. So over here on the right-hand side, it'll say go to my Connect section, and you can click on that. And if you haven't registered yet in Connect, it's going to ask you questions about, do you want to register for this course? And yes, you would want to do that. You would need to set up a Connect account if you don't have one already. And if you've got a code, you can enter that in, but you don't have to yet. You can just say you want to enter the class with the free trial. You've got, I think, a week or maybe a little bit longer, a week or more before you'd have to enter in a code. And if you're not sure about how to get registered in Connect, if you go back to your syllabus, there is where I talk about navigating and Connect. There's a little video that you can click on, this Connect registration through Western Online. You can click on that and see how to get registered and Connect. But I do want to take you to what your Connect is going to look like so you're familiar with the features. The Getting Started folder, that's going to have all these assignments that I have for this first week because I'm not going to be there and I would normally have students do them anyway. But I will show you those in a minute. The PowerPoint slides, if you click on that, this is where I've got the PowerPoint slides. This was arranged for like my online class, but in this folder, it's got chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, and 10. So if you just click the arrow on the side and just say begin, it's just a file attachment, you know. So here's the chapter 1 PowerPoint slides. You can click on it and it downloads those slides. So if you want to print them off and bring them to class, you can. There's chapter 2, 3, 4, etc. So whoops, there they are. And you can print them off if you'd like and bring them to class. So I tend to have people forget that those are out there. So I just did want to point that out. So let me go back to your view. All right. And then every chapter, I've got a folder, and every chapter you're going to see the same things. In chapter 1 folder, there's a smart book assignment, and you can see the due date is September 2nd on that. There's a homework assignment, and the due date is September 4th. And when you go to do the getting started information, they're going to have videos about using Connect. There's also a video about doing SmartBook and homework assignments. So I do want you to take a look at those videos in the Getting Started folder. There are some questions that I ask, and you can get points for doing those. So please do that. But I want to show you a few things also, just so that you're familiar with it. But they're going to totally bring you up to speed by watching those Getting Started videos in Connect. So SmartBook, it is a combination of the textbook and some questions, and I'm going to go straight to the question part of it. And you can see up here the 0 to 17 concepts. So I'm testing you on 17 concepts from chapter 1. Sometimes it's a fill in the blank question. clearly that's not going to be right. I have no idea what this is. And then you can click here, read about it. And if you do that, that will take you into the textbook concerning that particular subject matter. And then you could go back to the questions and answer it. Or, you know, if you already answered, you could still pop into the textbook. I didn't even look at what it's asking me. Before you submit your answer, you have to say your confidence in your answer is at high, medium, or low. I'm going to say it's pretty darn low. And my answer was incorrect, obviously. And it tells me what the correct answer is. And then I can, again, go into the textbook, or I can just go to the next question. And you'll notice I didn't get any credit. There's no concepts being completed when I answered the question incorrectly. So in order to start filling this in and get to these 7 concepts, you have to start answering it correctly. Basically, it's going to ask you about that same concept until you answer something correctly. And you have to get this all filled in to get the full points for the assignment. Let's see if I can get one correct. Which of the following are financial statements? No. Income statement. Statement of assets, no. Balance sheet, I'm feeling okay about that. And I did answer that correctly. So I've got a partial bar filled in. So I am well on my way. And again, if you want to read about it, you can click that and it'll take you into the textbook. So you can just be popping in and out of these questions whenever it's convenient for you. When you exit the assignment, it's going to save what you've done. So when you come back in, it will save, you know, my half a bar of progress. And you can just keep adding to it. In order to get the full 10 points, you do need to get all of it, all the bars, concepts filled in before the due date. And the due date on this was September 2nd. All my assignments are due by 11:59 p.m. that night. Then homework assignments. So in your Getting Started folder, there's a tutorial about the homework assignments and how those work. I just want to show you specifically uh, one that's in our class. Homework assignments for chapter 1. All the homework assignments are worth 20 points. Due date on this was September 4th by 11:59 p.m. First thing it wants you to do is fill in an income statement. And this is exercise 1-6. So if you were looking at in your textbook, in your ebook, you would see, you could go to exercises 1-6. It's going to be a similar problem. Your numbers are going to be different. Your numbers will be different than someone else's in the class. If you don't remember how to do an income statement, if you click on the hint, it's going to show you a guided example. It's going to walk you through exactly how to do an income statement. So that's available on most of the exercises, not on all of them. You can also click here and go into the textbook. Textbook always has all the answers. The other thing you can do is once you, oops, well, I didn't want to do that, but what happened here? Let me go back in, sorry. The other thing you can do is say check my work, but you actually have to have something to check. So I'm going to start filling something in. You'll notice the things, if you can kind of tell these boxes are in blue, where it's blue, that's where you can put in an answer. So I think I need service revenue, and I just started typing in, but you can also down arrow and pick something. So I'm going to pick these, service revenue. My number was 8,100. And whoops, what did I do? Okay. And then cash was 4,200. Okay, I don't know about those, so I'm going to say check my work. So check my work, what it does is it checks what you've input. So service revenue is correct, the 8,100 is correct, but cash is not, and that amount there is not correct. Okay. The other thing that it is saying is that your answer is not complete. So that's letting you know, hey, you still have some things left to do, not only on this problem, but if you look down here, I actually have 5 exercises in this assignment. So return to question and keep going. So they don't like this. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to take that out. The other thing to note is just because there's a blue box doesn't mean that you have to input something in. So when I look up here, that looks like all my revenue is just service revenue. So I'm just going to leave that and then I'm going to move on to my expenses and then I'm going to start picking some things for my expenses. Probably something that has expense in the name. So you'll keep plugging through like that. And keep in mind, it's always more than one problem most of the time. So there's the next exercise, exercise 1-7, wants you to do a statement of stockholders' equity. And you can pop around and do anything in whatever order that you want to, and you can go back to the previous things. When you're in the homework, get rid of me, you want to hit save and exit. Okay, so save and exit's going to save the work that you've done. And then when you go back in, you can pop into the assignment where you left off and keep on working. If you hit submit, that's going to send it to me for a grade. When you do that, it will give you the grade, it will give you the answers, and then if it's before the due date, you can make another attempt. So you can always make other attempts on the homework as long as you're making those attempts before the due date and time of the assignment, which is September 4th at 11:59 p.m. There's practice homework if you want to go into these and practice some different exercises like what we did in class or something similar to the homework. Practice, you can sit there and answer and then say, check my work, and it will give you all the correct answers. Yeah, so that's available for every chapter as well. Chapter 2, very similar, Smart Book homework assignment, the practice homework. This one actually has a handout that we would be using in class. So most of the chapters will all have Smart Book homework, practice homework. Sometimes there might be something additional. Due dates on everything, it's probably easiest to see those on your Western Online homepage. So the tutorials that are in the Getting Started folder, they have a due date of Monday night, September 1st, so Labor Day. You have that day off from school, but I want all of your Getting Started stuff done by then for points. So that's all there. And you can actually click on those and it'll take you to those assignments. So you can access them that way as well. When you do it like that, you don't get the full, well, you're seeing my version. So that's no good for you guys. But when you click on the assignment from the calendar, like you won't see everything that's in the folder. It will just take you into whatever specific assignment you clicked on from that calendar. So like if you want to see the PowerPoint slides, the way to get to that when you were in Western Online is to come over here and say, go to my Connect section. And then that will show you everything that's in Connect, not just assignments with due dates. So on the calendar, you're only going to see assignments with due dates. Okay, that's all I wanted to show you in Connect. Be sure to do all the getting started, the things in the getting started folder. They are there for points. I am going to add a short little quiz on the syllabus and the PowerPoint videos, which I'm going to do one more video to show you those. Okay, thanks for listening. See ya.